Yeah, this is excellent. It's both more oaky and it's more spicy, and it's got more sweet flavors. Everything about it is just like amped up. So welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we'll be drinking some Stagg. Right. Usually I have some sort of a reason or a premise behind the episode, but tonight I've just been doing taxes all day and I've had a very rough week at work. So the only reason I'm doing this episode is because I want to drink some Stagg, and in order for me to put out an episode, I need to film myself drinking some Stagg. So I'm being slightly facetious there. I do want to do this episode because these are the three stacks that I have open. The first one is the Knob Hill Liquors one that I've had for a little while now. And it is a Hazmat one. So it's kind of pretty sought after, 141 proof or 70.5%. When this first came out, I think I paid $250 for it. And it is, some people were trying to sell it for like $500, which I think is ridiculous. It was at the time one of the best bourbons that I tried, but I've since tried a bunch of 13th Colony, which I think definitely are better than this. Next up, we have the Stagg Batch 22B. So as you know, Stagg used to be called Stagg Junior, and the batches just were just counting up like 1 to up to 18. And then when 18 finished, from the year 2022, I believe, they started doing like the year and then like A B, C. Actually, that's not correct. In 2022, they did 22A, which a lot of people really loved, and they did 22B, which is this one. And then in 2023, they did 3 batches. They did 23A, 23B, and 23C. Seems like the 23C is the least wanted and the biggest production, because I was able to get this and then a backup of it actually. And a lot of people are trading it much lower than the other ones, so it seems like it's much more available. I think, at least in the Bay Area, I've seen this listed for like 150 to 160 versus, batch A is like 225, and like these like store pick Hazmat ones are much more expensive. Anyway, I think that background is like kind of interesting, because when I tried it, I actually really liked the 23C. It was off profile because it was much more spicy and it had this habanero kind of like spiciness to it, which I guess is off profile for Stagg. I can't say that I'm like a really super experienced with Staggs. I've actually never had any of the previous batches. I've only had like a couple of store picks, and I've had like pretty much like all of the most recent ones. But yeah, so without further ado, I just want to see, is the Hazmat really worth it? And in a blind, will I actually pick the 23B to be my favorite or not? So let's go, and we'll do, relatively small pours because it's kind of late, and we need to be productive tomorrow, finish off the taxes. So first one will be 23, will be the store pick, the Hazmat. The second one will have the 22B, and that will be number 2. Okay, and last but not least, we'll pour it from this side. This will be 23B. Make sure they're all facing in, so they're not distinguishable from each other. Okay. Yeah, so as I said, the main point of this is to see, is there really like a big difference between the different batches, and is the Hazmat store pick really worth the premium? And also if the 23B, which I liked in a non-blind, is going to stand out in a blind. Okay, so as usual, I will nose them first, give some notes, taste them, give some more notes, then make my guess, and then we'll reveal. So we'll start with this first one. I'll actually take all of the lids off first. Okay, that's a Goodness Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1. If you're not careful, there's definitely like some ethanol burn to it. I mean, these are all pretty high proof. They're all above 65, right? Yeah, the that Buffalo Trace Mashfield one is like just really nice. It's super inviting. It's fruity and the caramel and vanilla are just like really great. On the nose, I can't really tell which is which. Let's see. I guess this one's a bit more oaky. Some more mineral notes in it as well. I think this one is a bit more interesting. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a um, noticeable sort of like mineral and oaky note in this that's missing from that one. This tends more towards citrus than. I mean, of course, like the underneath all of these is vanilla and caramel, like that brown sugar, bourbon goodness. It's not like a Scotch citrus, but um, yeah, this definitely tends a little bit more towards like the citrus notes than. Hmm. This appears to be less ethanoly than these two. I'm not sure. I guess I would call it a more smooth nose. Yeah, I think on the nose I prefer this one so far. If anything, I would say this is probably the least off, the most off profile for a stag, which makes me to think that maybe it is a 23B. Okay, let's start with the first one. Ooh, that's good. Of course, it's very high proof, so as it's just lots of flavor. Super viscous. It coats your whole mouth, and um, beyond the kind of the sweet vanilla and caramel, there's quite a lot of baking spices that kind of like make your mouth water. It's really an intense and great experience. I don't think I get that like habanero thing that I was getting, so I don't think this is a 23B. Getting some mineral notes on that second one as well. Actually, now that the spices kind of linger a little bit, which does remind me of that does remind me of that kind of like more of a habanero kind of experience. Interesting. Okay, well that's just the first one, so let's go to the second one and see. Ooh, that is super spicy and much more oaky. Um, Maybe a little bit too oaky to be honest. Hmm. No, I like this quite a bit. I think it to me this tastes older than this one. It feels definitely more spicy and more oaky. So there's more going on, I feel. Yeah, that's definitely like very spicy. I get like tingly feeling on the side front of my tongue. Hmm. Yeah, this could be 23B. But I remember 23B wasn't as oaky as 22B. 22B was more oaky. This is definitely very oaky. Much more so than the first one. Okay, let's try this last one. I would hope that actually this is the hazmat because, well, I don't know if I hope, but I would expect it to be the hazmat because it's the more intense experience. That would justify the price at least. Um, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. This is the least oaky on the nose. It's actually the most astringent out of all of them. It doesn't open up as much. It doesn't have the same sweetness. It feels like it's a bit closed. It feels like it could use maybe some water even. Um, not super oaky definitely. Um, yeah, it's the most closed out of all of them. So far, I would say this is my favorite. This is my second favorite, and this is my least favorite. My guess would be, um, my guess would be that this is the Knob Hill hazmat pick. Um, this would be 23B. This would be 22B. But I'm not sure. Yeah, let me try them one more time. That's nice. It's pretty spicy and it does have some milk. This is super spicy. This has to be 23B. It like it like really makes my tongue tingle. And I don't think that's just ethanol. I think that is just like it's actually spicy. Um, there's like a massive tingling of the tongue afterwards. So I think this is 23B, and I would say this is 23B. This is the Knob Hill Hazmat, and then this is the other one. I hope this is not the Hazmat because this would be a disaster. Yeah, this is definitely the most closed off one. It's definitely not as nice as the other two. I really like this spicy. It's just more going on, and I like the spiciness. Okay, let's do the reveal. So, what is this? This is number 2. Oh, okay, so this is the 22B. Okay, so I got that wrong. Really interested to know what this one is. This one is number 1. Oh, wow, it is the Hazmat. Okay, so the Hazmat is the king. And this is the 3, which is the 23B. So I guess everyone's right. 23B is, compared to the other ones, not as good. So that's surprising. I think when I tried them, I found it more spicy, and I thought it was like kind of like I preferred it to the 22B when I did the separate like reviews. But yeah, I guess blinds don't lie. So let me just do them side by side one more time. Yeah, no, it's definitely like not as nice. It is quite spicy as well, though. Actually, now I get the spices more. Well, it is what it is. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Probably um, it reconfirms what a lot of people have been saying about 23B. But still, I mean, it's just not as good as the other stags, but still, like for a bourbon that's you can buy. Well, the MSRP is like 65, but you can still buy this at 150. I think it is actually like a in the stag world a good deal because, well, I don't know, if you're spending 150 bucks, you might as well like spend a little bit more and get something better. But if you can get it in MSRP, or and like slightly above MSRP, even at 100 bucks, it's still a steal because it's still a great whiskey. It's just compared to the other two, not as good. I think this is head and shoulders better than the other two, though. So I guess there is a reason why the store picks are so much more expensive. At least Hazmat store picks. Yeah, this is excellent. It's both more oaky, and it's more spicy, and it's got more sweet flavors. Everything about it is just like amped up. So all right, cool. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care.